From the soot, Project ITS. Take a draw, let it hit. We the ones who kept the fire, yeah, we never quit. In the shadows, in the shadows, yeah. Exclusive drop, yeah. You know where to find the supply. Little guy in the States keeping the standard up high. And if you overseas, yeah, we crossing the map. Cigar King and Taipei, yeah, we bridging the gap. 2 spots in the world, yeah, we keeping it red. From the west to the east, blowing gold in the air. Now we building up the future, brick by brick, while we lighting up the blend, cause the plot is thick. Taste the victory, taste the truth. No drama here, just the lead jump. Yeah. Smooth draw, full body, yeah, it's heavy and deep. Like the promises the shadow smokers managed to keep. They said it stalled, nah, it was waiting to arrive. Now every puff is proof that the mission's alive. So cut the cap, light it up, let the doubters look on. We celebrating cause the dark days are finally gone. It's Project ITS, put respect on the name. The only thing that matters is the ash and the flame, yeah. From Arizona to Taiwan, we don't just smoke, we succeed. This is the lead, John. Project ITS. Yeah. Project ITS. Soy sauce assassin. Yeah. Project ITS. Yeah. Project ITS. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is the end. The ash begins to fall. The world is fading out. Behind this velvet wall, a secret kept in cedar, a flame that's born of gold. The shadow smokers rise before the night grows cold. Feel the earth move as a match begins to strike. 1,000 brothers breathe in the silence that we like. Let the sky crumble, we'll watch it from the chairs, with a vintage in our glasses and no burden of the cares. Let the smoke fall. When it crumbles, we will stand tall. Face it all together at the smoke fall. The smoke fall. Where worlds collide and days are done. You may have the light, but we have won. The shadow smokers in the setting sun. Shadow smokers is where we start. 1,000 miles and poles apart. With silver bands and labels bleed, we find the only peace we need. No names, no titles, just the plume that fills the corners of the room. You'll never find us though we're near, drowned in the sand of atmosphere. Let the smoke fall.
Hey guys, Tony the Soy Assassin. Welcome to another episode of Smokers Panels Live. So, today, I don't know what's going on today. I'm pretty sure it's still summer. And the reason I started late is because I came down to the basement to smoke and realized that basement is wicked cold. And I went upstairs and found out like outside is like 50 something degrees. 50 something degrees. I don't know what's going on. So, am I still in summer or I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm looking at this. Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, tonight is 55. What's going on? So yeah, I went out there, grabbed another shirt because one shirt is not enough at the moment. Where I'm gonna have a smoke. So today I'm just gonna smoke regular Garcia. My father's bike. Garcia. Yep. It's just gonna be a quick smoke. Uh Today. I'm not sure if we're gonna have a full episode today. So I'm just like not in a really good mood. But nevertheless, if somebody jumps on today, we'll have a little smoke. Let's see what's going on. And if not, not. Today's one of those days. Had a good meal. Had a good day. Hang out outside. In Seaport. So and it was a nice day. So it wasn't hot today. But it wasn't as cold right now. Holy shit. Okay. Light one up. All right. All right. So let's see. Ooh, my nose. Saturday. I think there's only one more Saturday left for the month. No, this is the last Saturday of the month. Next Saturday will be the first. Ding yang. Let's see. And August 9th is our Foundation Smoke Together. So hopefully people will join us on the Foundation Smoke Together. If you just joined us today, let me know what you light up today. Let's talk about lighting up cigars. And talk about like what I think about cigars today. Because oh my god, I tried to put my mind together today and thinking about cigars. And a lot of time I watch about videos about cigars, what people think about cigars, uh what cigar means to them. And it makes me think sometimes, like should I be talking about cigar the way like I think I in our channel we demystify cigars for people. All right, demystify. So went for something like very romantic, very like legendary, very um characteristic thing to something that's very realistic, very manageable chunks, so that you get to nerd out about it and understand cigar more. But the thing about anything in this world, the more you understand it, the less you care about it, or the less you put the emphasis on it. And I don't know if that hurts people. I don't know if that like it ultimately hurts people because well, I don't know if people have that, right? You know, it's like when you, let's say your dream car is a Porsche 911. Every day you look at cars. It's just like, ah, this is my dream car. I want this car. This is my dream car. I want this car. But when you finally bought it, you might enjoy it for a small period of time, and then you'll be looking for the next car, right? Well, a woman, like the beautiful woman, you're like, oh man, I wish she's my woman. I wish she's my girlfriend. I wish she's my wife. And then you do whatever it takes to get her. And when you finally got married to her, you're like, oh man, I can't, I wish I was single, right? So I think Cigar has that thing too, where if you give so much information, if you understand it enough, if you know your pairings and your leaves and everything, does it ultimately get boring to you? Does it ultimately like, I don't want to smoke that. I don't want to, like, you no longer think cigar is something, right? And you start to see things differently. Let me give you an example, right? So yesterday I had an online argument with a brand, with a brand. Hey Joy, with a brand, and the brand is called. I know I love not talk about the brand first. Let's not talk about the brand. Let's just talk about that brand, okay? So I saw this brand, and I was like, oh, I know they sell shirts, and I was like, maybe I should, um, I should support it. I should buy some clothes. I can buy any price clothes, right? Normally, I've had period of my time I'll buy like $500-600 t-shirts, no problem. So don't think of this story using like, oh, Tony's just being cheap kind of view, right? So I'll click into the website. I was like, you know what? I'll buy a few t-shirts. I click in. I see t-shirt with image and all that stuff. Yep. And those t-shirts are very simple, maybe cotton tees or whatever. It's not like those t-shirts have any other functions. And I look at the price. It's like 80 something dollar a shirt. A t-shirt. 80 something dollar. And I look at a t-shirt, I'm like, isn't that just a print tee? This guy has the audacity to put a print tee for a brand I've never heard of for 80 something dollars. And now we're not even talking about shipping and all that stuff. We're just talking about $80. Now, if I've never made a single t-shirt, I probably think that's the best thing in the world. I probably think that's the most amazing thing in the world. It's cool or t-shirt. Wow, $80. I want to buy it. But I already demystified myself. I already went through manufacturing, printing, and all that stuff about t-shirts, clothings. To a point where I don't even want to keep it. If somebody say, "Hey, what you want to do clothes?" I'll be like, "Yeah, just put it online. I don't want to deal with it." Right? So I went to their Instagram. I was like, "Dude, this the price is just stupid." They came back and say, "Oh no, let me get the exact word so I don't say like, oh, I misquote them. How about that?" Here we go. He said, "We know cheap is easy, quality isn't. Cheap is easy, quality isn't." Okay, that's the quote. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me." Did this guy just try to justify his price by saying that cheap is easy, quality isn't? Now, if you are just a regular buyer, you think, okay, that's reasonable. Yeah, they're quality. That's why. It is because that's why. Quality. So you need $80 to buy a T-shirt. I was like, but as somebody that does, it never costs $80 to make a shirt. So I said, really? But you cannot show the cost of the raw shirt. Quality, you can, and I laugh and say, quality. You can trick consumers maybe, but other people who work in the factory will laugh at that price. And now all of a sudden, he says, a factory makes T-shirt, we create culture. Basic plain tee start just at $14. I was like, what? Did he just say that? Okay. So I called him out on the price. Now he's saying that they are culture. What culture are you trying to give on T-shirts? $14 T-shirt. Plain T-shirts. Dude, why don't you just go Walmart and see how much T-shirt costs? But that, again, if you are a consumer, it would make perfect sense. But when someone is demystified, knowing the cost and knowing what T-shirts really about, you're like, nah, you're not creating culture. If it's a culture, wouldn't you want most people to wear it? Wouldn't you want a lot of people to have it? Wouldn't you want more out there? Is creating that culture. Can't have one person culture. So I say, because all of a sudden, all right, hold on a second.
If you want
Val.
more people, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Now I have you just all of a sudden jump in. I didn't even hear you jump in.
Oh, okay. All right.
right.
So look, I started a little late for some reason. Decided to have a little cake right now before I came out. But anyway, look at it. We're talking about a shirt.
So what we're talking about is I'm trying to compare. I'm like, if I go back to the beginning, I'm saying that the more you know about something, the more you demystify about something, the more you don't care about something. All right. And I'm giving this happening as example where I talked to this brand where they were selling $80 t-shirt. $80 t-shirt.
$80
And
t-shirt.
I was like,
okay.
and I comment that price is stupid. And they say, well, quality isn't cheap. And obviously I called them out. I says, really, why don't you tell me how much your stuff costs? Because, people who work in the factory will laugh about that. No matter how high the quality is on a t-shirt, it does not cost $80. It does not cost $80 to make a t-shirt. So he says, a factory makes shirts, we create culture. Right? And I say, well, because all of a sudden, now it's not about quality. Because first you talk about is quality, that's why the price is like that, right? I'll call you on the quality, you say now it's culture. Right? But if you gotta create culture, wouldn't you want more people to come and wear the culture that you try to create?
Okay. So is this a well-known brand?
No, it's not.
Okay. So yeah, I get it then because I want to. I mean, if we're looking at culture and clothing and t-shirts, it's just an example with t-shirts. Ralph Polo.
Ralph Lauren?
Is it a culture?
Ralph Lauren is
Yeah, Ralph Lauren. No. Yeah, Ralph Lauren.
yeah.
Ralph Lauren.
Ralph
Polo,
Lauren
Ralph Lauren.
makes more than just polo. Polo is just one section of it.
Right.
Ralph Lauren
Right.
is a lot about horse riding, about like the rich people thing. Yeah.
But there is a community out there, and they have get-togethers
Mm-hmm.
where they wear their polo gear,
Sure.
their shirts, their the short sleeve, long sleeve, rugby shorts, whatever. But it's
Mm-hmm.
all got to have the big brand on it.
Sure.
Now, is that a culture?
It's a circle, so yeah, I guess it's a culture.
Yeah, yeah, kind of, right? Kind of. Now, the other would be, let's say, uh, Nike versus Michael Jordan.
Nike versus Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was a subdivision of Nike.
Yes, but more of a culture type identifier.
No, okay.
Yeah,
So when
because
they're
you gotta
building
wear
that,
the. You don't say you gotta wear the Nikes. You don't say you gotta wear the Nikes. You say you gotta get the Jordans.
yeah, but that's different though. That culture was not built because of Jordan. It was built because people who were Jordan built it.
Oh, I think they go hand in hand.
No, because not every Jordan fits. All right, people who start talking about getting a pair of Jordan are talking about Jordan 4, Jordan 5, Jordan 11. Everything in between is not every single
Well,
one of them are.
no, but yeah, I'm not. Yeah, and they should be different.
Right, but
They should be different.
it is the shoes that Nike themselves don't make because they literally make those for basketball Jordan. Michael Jordan. He's an icon, and you're wearing an icon. And I guess it's a culture, but the culture was created because people of that nature wears it.
I mean, I'm just.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me
so
give you an example, right? Val, let's say you live in Nürburgring, right? You live in Nürburgring. Is the car the culture? Is it racing the culture? Or it just happens because where you live happen to be the culture? Or you gotta say, oh,
I think you grow into the culture.
right, but you wouldn't say the product is the culture, right? You live in Nürburgring, Porsche is not a culture. It's a tool to be in that culture, the driving culture. You wouldn't say Nissan is the culture. You wouldn't say, BMW is a culture. You wouldn't say Mercedes is a culture. No, they have their own subdivision, but they're not the culture. The culture is somebody that will go buy one of those. So the T-shirt is just fitting into the culture. That they're not creating the culture.
So okay, so I used to, and I remember when I was younger. Talk about football culture.
Okay.
Man, I was all into getting the big logos on my shirt,
Mm-hmm.
on my sweatshirt. Okay, get the big logos with the t-shirts, and I liked it up until something happened to me where maybe I aged out of that. I aged out of it.
Wear big logo stuff.
Yeah, because now, like, I get my Seahawk. I used to wear Seahawks with big logo across the chest, big logo on the back. T-shirts, sweatshirts, button-up shirts. Now I've really, and I also had to have it on the back.
Okay.
Now I'm happy with just a small logo.
But that's different because it's still you. Like I said, the product itself is not the culture. Product itself is it's a tool for you to show that you love the culture. You love football. You love Seahawk. But you don't love the T-shirt.
Yes,
T-shirt is
Yes.
not your culture.
Right.
T-shirt just show the culture on there. So that's what I'm saying. Like they're not building any culture,
No.
right?
No.
So
Yeah, and I think I understand what you're saying. Where you're charging X amount of money. Well, what quality justifies the price? What is that special quality that you're putting into that product?
okay, quality is that okay? This is very important, okay? Because I'm gonna route back to cigars, quality and shirts. Okay, there is not one single T-shirt that you can even consider that out of quality if it's synthetic, right? Anything that's made out of synthetic, there's no quality to be mentioned, right?
Wait a
Because
minute.
all synthetic are equal, right? Anybody can make it. All synthetic are equal, right? So if you gotta say it's quality, it has to be somewhat of a rare nature, where like maybe is natural or a rare material to make it quality. Okay, so silk, like if you had a silk shirt, real silk, it's quality. But if your silk is made out of nylon, there's no quality in there, right?
No.
Right.
Right.
So you can have as like you can have an entire T-shirt made out of silk. It wouldn't be $80. Manufacturing cost does not. Entire T-shirt made out of silk. Silk is not like I've wears like really rough silk T-shirts. No problem. Not $80. Right? You can have the entire T-shirt made out of cotton, 100% breathable cotton. It wouldn't be $80. Okay. So quality and comfort are two different things too. Most people consider a blend of things are comfortable. So you wouldn't want like a rough thing. You want some like synthetic material to make it soft and whatever. And nowadays, most shirts are like that, and they are cheaper. Okay, so you got like T-shirt, you got blend T-shirt, like those blends one, they are like stretch and they are like they wick moisture, that kind of stuff. They're not 100% cotton, but if it's 100% cotton, 100% silk, sure, they're very comfortable. They are quality, but they don't cost you $80 shirt. All right. Now a blouse, different story. So don't even argue with me like blouse, okay? So, but if you want a T-shirt doesn't
Well,
cost that
let's change it. I went to a store today,
much. Mm-hmm.
a men's store, and I was looking at ties, neckwear,
Mm-hmm.
and I try to, of course, I'm trying to look for one that I like, and I found one that I like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to give you a price range on it. It was $375
That
for
is
a
a very
tie.
standard price.
For a tie,
Mm-hmm.
all right. It was on sale.
Right. You had a brand attached to it.
So, well, let me tell you. So when I looked at it, a nice tie, I really liked it. I didn't like the price, and I'm looking. Okay, a brand. I'm gonna mention a brand, known brand, and then I went to see what it was made out of.
Okay.
It was not 100% silk.
Mm-hmm. Because 100% silk is really hard to take care of. Can't wash it.
I am not going to spend that much money on a tie that is not 100% silk.
But 100% silk, you can't wash it.
Nope, you can't wash it. You got to take care of it. Okay,
One stain is by.
got to take care of it. But
Yeah.
but you're getting an item that is, yeah, it's got a nice design. It's got a nice color. What I want, what I liked about it, the color, the design,
Mm-hmm.
the width of the tie, the length of the tie. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
um, but not to be 100%.
I can understand it not to be 100% part, because most brands don't want to give you something they can't fix.
Look, I could, if it was a silk wool blend, I get it.
Okay.
But this had no silk, had no wool in it. It was all man-made stuff.
Mm-hmm. But okay.
And I could not, I just could not see that price for that tie made out of that material.
Sure. Like, okay, yeah, let me ask you this question, right? Have you ever go to work where two people wearing the same tie?
See, have I ever gone to work where with two people? What?
Wears the exact same tie? Oh, no. Let me rephrase it. Have you ever go to an event where two people, well, at least two guests, wear the exact same tie?
I don't ever remember that.
Right. Because that was the whole point.
Maybe something close, but not the exact same. No.
Mm-hmm. It's considered accessory, and they want people to wear different accessory. They don't want to clash. So a lot of time, even though the tie is not worth that price, they will literally price higher so that you don't see a lot of people wearing the same tie. Right? But that's kind of different than t-shirt, because I've seen a lot of people wear the same t-shirt all the time. So there's no need to press people, especially if you try to build a culture. You want people to wear the same t-shirt. But ties are different. Ties are accessory. Like, it's just like, okay, I don't know if anybody wears those French cuff with the cufflinks.
Yes.
Cufflinks are really expensive.
Yes.
But in terms of material, they shouldn't. They shouldn't be. But why are they expensive? Price you out. So you don't have people with clashing cufflinks. If that makes any sense. There are things that we like the industry try to price out to kind of thin out the market. They don't make a lot of those, but they want to make the same amount of money. In order to do that, they will price people out. But they're not trying to build culture. They try to not clash. Right? How do I kind of make sure that when you drive a Porsche 911 GT RS to be the center of attention on the street? To make sure that you're the only one that's driving it. And in order to do that, I don't produce a lot. But the total amount of money I'm going to get is the same. So that car is going to cost you $300,000. Does it cost $300,000 to make it? No. So I'm going to charge you $300,000 just so that when you drive on the street, you're the only one at that block. It's like that. Accessories, things that are meant to show off, I like that. But t-shirt should never be. And that goes back to cigar, right? The more you know about the cigar, and the more we demystify in this channel, it seems like cigar quality is a very flat thing. It seems like every cigar is either taste or not taste, but quality doesn't fall into that. Like when we smoke a cigar, we don't say the cigar quality. We say that what tastes like. What does it taste like? Right? A lot of taste, a lot of strength, or a lot of flavor, whatever. But we don't say this cigar is good quality. Like, we always say build quality, but not tobacco quality. We don't ever talk about tobacco quality. The only thing that we kind of compare to would be like full leaf or shredded.
Yeah, I mean, we look at what we see, right? We look at what we see. We evaluate our cigar on the color of the wrapper. The blemish is on the wrapper.
but that's just the wrapper, right?
Yeah, but then what do we look at? We look at the ash. We look at the construction. Is it the same
But
color?
ash,
Is it
there's
flake?
no way to tell a cigar quality from ash. I
Right.
know people's like, oh, the
But
whiter it is,
not-
no, there's no
but
way.
well, yeah, but don't we judge it based on what the ash looks like? Oh, the construction, the quality is great.
Right, but the construction
is
is
great.
the person, not the leaf.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Right? It's the skill of the person that's wrapping it. Roll it together and put it together. His gentle hands, skill. It has nothing to do with the tobacco quality. I bet I'm the only person that ever comes out and say we have a cigar with the graded quality of tobacco. Nobody ever talks about that, right? Because there's no way to say anything about it. There's no way for you to judge another tobacco whether or not they are of quality. They don't ever list in gradings of the tobacco. Why? Because sometimes if you run out, you gotta use the lower grade. You gotta use the lower grade, right? Lower grade tobacco does not mean it doesn't taste the same. It just tastes less. But quality gets mystified. Nobody ever gets to talk about quality. You taste when you smoke a cigar, right? And you're like, oh, there's a lot of flavor. This is a quality cigar. How do you know? How do you know that's a quality?
I think we determine the quality by the brand.
But again, you're not really talking about quality. You're talking about amount of flavor, construction.
But I don't ever hear. This is what I hear. Espinosa makes spicy cigars.
Yeah, makes great cigar, right? You say,
Great
but
cigar.
you don't say they make quality cigar.
No, I hear AJ Fernandez. Man, he makes some quality
Great cigar.
cigars.
Yeah, but that's it. Okay, where's the quality?
Yes, and then you hear about Fuente.
Yeah,
Man, Fuente cigars. Man, that's a quality of cigar there, man.
but what's the quality?
But-
What defines the
How
quality?
how do we determine that without knowing, like you said, the levels of the grade of tobacco?
Right? Because okay, if you're gonna talk about, let's take build quality aside, because we already know build quality has nothing to do with tobacco. Right? Build quality has nothing to do with tobacco. Wrapper maybe, but some company literally choose an ugly wrapper just because it looks raw. Okay, so wrapper is out of the quality contender too. Next is flavor. So here's the thing, Val. Would you consider a restaurant of quality if the food tastes salty?
No,
Would you consider a food tastes better if I add more MSG in there? It's quality.
How
about this? Yeah, would you consider a brisket is great just because it simply has more flavor? That's quality. Just because I put more rub on it, dry rub. Put like loaded dry rub. Double the amount I usually use. Is that quality?
Is that it probably could be considered, but I think it look well. Yeah, and I think we mentioned this a little bit.
Because
about
if
the-
I have more flavor, I can keep adding more and more rub. I can load it up the rub. Does that make the meat quality?
No, because a lot of times you're taking away from the taste of the meat and covering it up too much with the seasonings you put on it.
But more
Do you
flavor.
want to taste the meat or do you want to taste the seasoning?
But it's just more flavor. So
There's
more flavor is not
but
quality.
You're tasting more flavor, but you're not tasting the meat.
But it's more flavor. So flavor, I agree, flavor is not quality. More flavor does not equate to quality. How's that? More flavor does not equate to quality. All right, so cigar, more flavor is not quality. Build is not quality. Should we go smoke output? Do you think smoke output makes the cigar more quality?
No, because it could have been tainted with something to give you that
Exactly.
smoke.
You can just add oil. Add oil. Right? Let's say, okay, don't we only talk about a natural stuff. All right? But natural stuff doesn't necessarily taste good, better. Natural smoke. Let's say if you have smoke that's very smoky, for example, ghost, that thing produces a lot of smoke. Quality? Is that quality? Right? We're picking out the characteristics of the cigar, but what part of it is quality?
Here we go.
What part of it is quality? Yeah.
Uh, it has to be with uh it has to be the person involved with it that makes it the quality.
But that's not quality.
Well, I mean, look at is it is it is it the blender? Is it the tobacco? Or is it the
The
roller?
blender doesn't make quality. The
Okay,
blender
so blender's
selected the
out.
quality.
Blender's out. Is it the roller or is it the tobacco?
The roller doesn't determine the quality either. The roller determines the build quality. In fact, sometimes the roller don't even get to determine the build quality actually. So build quality. That's not quality of the cigar. That's something that's like, manageable. That does not make the cigar quality better. It makes the cigar smokable now. So what is quality? In cigar, what is quality?
Yeah. I think most recognition of the cigar is by brand.
Yeah, but that's brand recognition. And then brand is
Yes.
famous because not because of
Wait,
quality of the
but
cigar,
but
but
you know
because the cigar tastes good.
you're absolutely right because a brand they can have some really powerful high hitting cigars that are just right there, and they got a whole bunch that just ain't doing the job.
Right. The
You're right.
brand does
Yeah.
not determine quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is the cigar quality?
I guess it's individualized. It's perception or what you perceive it to be as quality. Do you like that fancy word out there, people? Perceive? Little
Perceive.
fancy word in there.
That's why I was saying, like, I don't think anybody think about that. When you're mystified by cigars, right? You think about everything but quality. You feel it's what the cigar makes you feel, what the cigar tastes like, right? It's what the cigar looks like, and what you do with it. But none of them has to do with quality. You can have a really crappy quality tobacco that tastes like a lot of stuff, right? That's why, like some leaf are so ugly. The color is so uneven. It has flavor. Put it in the filler.
Let me just make a little change up on this because I was surprised today. I received an item of a brand that I really thought was a really good high end brand. Okay. Uh, uh, and then when I started to see where it was made in, it surprised me.
Where is made in?
Yeah, what country it was made in?
All right, Indonesia, China, Vietnam.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I mean, I think I yeah. But does that mean that quality of their product is not good or as good just because it's made elsewhere?
Okay, now you're not even talking about quality anymore. So when you're talking about,
Well, let's get you a T-shirt. Let's go back to the T-shirt. You got a T-shirt, 100% cotton, made in USA. I'm expecting that T-shirt to be really well made, good material, good cotton, well sewn, last a long time, keep his body shape. And I get something made from Bangladesh.
Bangladesh,
I don't expect that shirt to be quality wise as good as the one made in the US.
but now you're talking about different things. Are you talking about build quality, or you gotta talk about material quality?
Well, yeah, and how do we know where the cotton is from unless it's specified, right? If it
There's
says
only so many
100%
there's only
cotton,
so many countries that produce cotton and manufacturing cotton sheets for you to manufacturing cloth for you to cut into clothes.
why do we gotta have to have 100% cotton? Why can't we get like 100% alpaca T-shirt?
They do.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just threw that out there.
They're actually very
I mean,
warm
I
and
know
nice.
there's alpaca sweaters.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that.
T-shirt is just a form. It's just a shape.
Okay.
Looks like a T. It's a shirt. T-shirt.
Yeah.
But yes, you can make out of alpaca wool. It's really called wool shirt, but it's thick, warm, and nice. Right? The reason why we prefer cotton is because cotton is very absorbent and it's very easy to take care of. Right? So when you
Right.
sweat,
Easy
it absorbs
maintenance.
and then it dries up nicely, comfortable.
Easy maintenance. Yeah.
So when you say, okay, something made in China must be bad, it's because they're mass produced. Cost, speed, and quality. You can only have two of them. You want it cheap and fast? They're not gonna be very good, like nicely structured. They gotta have some of them that's like a mid-size, whatever,
Yeah.
right? And the problem why people think that item produced from those countries must be bad quality is because those are countries that mass produce. You don't want to mass produce in the U.S. because it costs too high. And the cost is not on the material or the item; it's on labor.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you take the same material to another country, it's cheaper.
Yes.
So
The
that's
labor.
what
Yeah.
people think. A certain country make things that are poor quality. Well, if you're buying it from a country that doesn't demand a lot, yeah, they gotta be poor quality. But can they make a quality product? They can. For example, your iPhone, you think it's great, it's high, you know, it's good quality technology. It's made in China. So can they make high-end product? Yes. But at the same time, mass-produced stuff, they're not just they're meant to be worn for a little bit and thrown out, and they will produce as such. There are plenty of things that you buy from China, from Bangladesh, from India, from Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam. They were meant to be wear for a year and throw it out. You can wear for 2 years, bonus. You can wear for 3 years, might not be the best thing. But you can. But they were meant to be thrown out. Right? So they were meant to be. They were created to be that quality to start with. The design was that. Cigar was meant. It's designed to last you about 2 hours, max, maybe 3. The design was that. Unless you bought a 9x90, that's a different story. Right? So where's the quality? If they were designed as such, the quality, the maximum quality design is this. For example, if I design a screw and was designed to hold 20 pounds, but you use a screw on something 30 pounds, it breaks apart, is it poor quality?
No, it's not. It was designed to hold one thing, but you use it for something else.
Right.
So you,
But most people will be like, this screw sucks. That's the whole shit.
right? Yeah.
But then doesn't mean that thing is poor quality. It's just not as designed. T-shirts the same way. They made you like a $5 T-shirt is meant for a year. You try to wear for 5 years. It's not as designed. So cigar design, just leave roll together. They're meant to last you 3 hours, but quality, where's the quality? When we say quality of the cigar, where is that quality? How do you judge that quality? Like I said, people will say, oh, the tobacco is a nice quality because it burns white. My backyard leaf burns white.
You know, I think a lot of people base the quality on cigars by their ash.
That's construction.
I know, but and they'll mention, oh, that's a great construction. Look at the color of that ash. You know, it's nice. It's a light gray, or as opposed to, oh man, I don't know, you got some black spots in that cigar, and that ash.
Right. But you can manipulate the ash color or the way the ash burns by the way you smoke. So if I had a cigar, I smoked the crap out of it, really, really hot. I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
the
on
ash
the
should
even
be
burn.
darker. The ash should be darker.
The ash will be darker. The ash will have lines. The ash might have even yellow dots, yellow spots on even burn. So now, are you talking about quality? Can you tell quality from the ash color? You really can't. What if this particular leaf is full of mineral? It's by design, full of mineral. And you gotta have all kind of weird color because now you have all kind of weird shit in there. You gotta say that cigar is bad because ash color is not white. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that we use to judge quality is not quality. It's not part of its quality.
You remember that one television, the one TV that used to be made out. I don't even know if they still make it anymore. Probably not. Their slogan, I believe their slogan used to be, "The quality goes in before the name goes on."
That's what they mean by quality assurance. They test the TV before they put the label on it.
Can you imagine making your cigar and saying on your box, "The quality goes in before the band goes on"?
But then that means every brand can say the same thing because band is the last step.
Yeah.
And so is any TV. The logo goes on last.
Or or you can be, you know, like I'm smoking the cigar that Tony you presented me about 3 years ago. Yeah, oh man, that's a quality cigar you got there, buddy.
Yeah, but like again, what quality are we talking about?
Yeah.
We're talking about flavor. We're talking about construction. We're talking about the look. We're talking about the ash. But none of those are representation of quality tobacco. Right? Because when they select tobacco, the grading goes with the color of the leaf, the evenness of the leaf, the vein on the leaf, and the oil on the leaf, strength and evenness. So the leaf looks perfect. It's good quality, higher grade. The leaf is oily and smooth and has that sheen to it. Good quality. But that's the only thing that you see is the wrapper. The only thing that you see on a cigar is the wrapper. You don't see the binder. You don't see the filler. How is that quality? And a leaf that has full of oil, we talk about a lot of oil, they look horrible. For example,
You know,
go ahead.
well, I remember being in an event and I'm watching these two guys come in and looking at cigars and they're talking about the cigars. And one of the guys says, "Oh man, we gotta grab that cigar. Look at the color of it. Look how dark it is. Look at the oils on that cigar." And I'm thinking, and they're both talking, "Hey man, it's gotta be a good cigar. That's a quality cigar. It's a good brand too. We gotta grab that cigar." Yeah, but how do they know?
How do they know?
How do they know?
Except the brand. Now, brand got famous because they have enough people smoking their cigars.
Mm.
They got enough people that had good experience with the cigar. But again, a good cigar does not equate to good quality tobacco. It equates to good blend. Someone made a product where the flavor is what you like. Right? Someone made a product where the blend is what you like. Right? It's a lot of expensive good cigar. They are natural color. They're not dark. Right? When they advertise, oh, this thing came from whatever chateau, whatever, or name. But how do you tell quality?
Are we okay? So with cigars, are we basing the quality of the cigar on the flavors and taste that we are reminiscent of?
Well, that's the problem, right? I just asked you if something has more flavor, is it more quality? Like I say, if I had a piece of steak, I put a lot of MSG, a lot of salt. Now this thing has full of flavor, a lot of dry rub. Does that make a quality cut? You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of those things are not quality. A blend are at the skill of the person who blended together. Say this is the flavor I like, and sometimes many of lighter flavor can make a good one single flavor. For example, Val, you drink this nice cup of old fashioned. Great. Tastes so good. But it turns out to be a cheap bourbon with flavoring. It's that quality. A lot of flavor.
Yeah, that'd be a sleeper there. Yeah. Yeah. What do you? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the brand, the name brand, and of course, there's other factors involved, but you expect that better known brand to give you a better tasting, but sometimes it doesn't always happen.
Right? We don't know what quality is. We don't know what quality. Like when it comes to meat, people always say the cuts that people throw away that are the best tasting. Have you heard of that? The cuts that people don't buy is the cut that people like the butcher like to keep because they're the best tasting. Because they're not the most beautiful cut. The inners, the organs are the most flavorful parts of the animal. Well, that's how it's said.
Yeah.
But you disagree with the quality, but it's most flavorful. Right? You know you're eating a liver when you're eating a liver.
Yeah, you know.
Right? So flavor does not justify the quality of something. In fact, it could be a mistake. Like, like let's say if I'm trying to make a cigar, all right, and my target is people who love earthiness. I can probably find the worst tobacco out there that tastes nothing but earth. And put in there, you're like, ooh, this cigar is great quality. A lot of earth. Love it.
Yeah, that's true because I know a lot of people, they just love the spicy cigars, the cigars with get a lot of pepper hints on them.
Right.
Where I don't mind having a hit right off the bat, but I don't want a spicy cigar throughout the entire cigar.
But some people like flavor, right? So, like,
Yes.
certain flavor can be like, okay, I don't know about this, okay? What I'm about to say is I don't know about this. But what if there is a specific type of tobacco that is very peppery because bugs like to eat them and they're hybrid to be very peppery? And because they use that, the cigar is very peppery. But that doesn't mean that the tobacco is of quality. It just means that they found a tobacco that is very spicy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true because you, like you said, you can get that spicy tobacco that may fall into that tier of low grade tobacco,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Like,
But
in fact, that could be very low. It could be like this tobacco is so bad it tastes nothing but pepper. Right? Don't you think you can find something like that? Some tobacco
yeah,
tastes nothing but earth. Some tobacco tastes nothing but like it's not complex at all. All you have is pepper, or all you have is wood, something
wood,
like that.
grass, yeah, pepper,
But because that's part of the blend, you're like, okay, I'm
mineral.
gonna put a little bit in there, and now all of a sudden that's the guy's quality. You're like, this thing is the best thing ever. So peppery, burns my nose. I'm tearing. Quality. Well, blender's magic.
Ooh, that's a cool name for a cigar. Blender's Magic.
Right? You can have a blender that knows tobacco. I have tried so many shitty tobacco and put it together and it become a good cigar. Right? There's plenty of chefs out there that specifically pick parts that people don't like to eat and make it into a cuisine. Like for example, Val, you don't eat seafood, right? Am I right?
Don't eat seafood. Now I don't eat fish. Don't eat
Okay.
fish.
In some country, fish eyes are delicacy.
Yes.
But if somebody just give you a plate of fish eyes, you'll be like, couldn't you give me some quality food? You give me fish eyes. But that's delicacy.
Yeah. 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 It's like it's like caviar.
Like food, you can actually tell the quality of the food, right? For example, somebody give you a piece of steak that's a really low quality. You can literally smell it if it's a bad cut of meat, right? If somebody gave you a bad cut of meat, you can tell. You can tell when you're looking at it. You can tell when you smell it. You can definitely tell when you put a piece in your mouth and eat it.
Yeah, you can tell by when you slice it too. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, if you cook it, the water's gonna come out. It's gonna be like really nasty. So even the cooking process, you can tell. But cigar, you can't.
You know, that's like we talked a little about this before, Tony, about the Wagyu beef and the Kobe beef. When I see those items, you always see the good cuts.
Actually,
I've never seen a brisket on those two types of beef. I've never seen the eye around on those two
they do have
cuts.
it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I sure would like to see what it looks like though. And not
Um,
only that, I mean, I could only imagine the taste of it because I've never had a Kobe or a Wagyu beef, any type at all.
okay.
But just by the way that they show it, just by the way that they cook it, just by the way I see people eat it and they talk about the taste, how tender, how juicy, how moist, how like it practically melts in your mouth. Okay, but I've never seen the brisket of that animal. I've never seen the eye around that animal. I've never seen the knuckle of that animal. Okay,
Okay.
so it makes I wonder, is the appearance, not the taste, because I'm just looking at the appearance.
I
Is
can show you a picture of a brisket. A5.
all the intricate marbling that you see in those other cuts.
Let me
You
show
know.
you a picture of it. That's
Yeah.
easy. That's easily done.
All right.
Where is my screen picture thingy? Right here. And I have it here somewhere. Hold on a second. Let me pull it up. Oh, that one. That's not it. Wait, I saved it. Where'd it go? I saved it. Where did it go? All right, save another place then. Try again. Here, what? Why does it get deleted? All right, I'll pick another one. Now, does that get saved? Yeah, it does. Okay. I don't know why the demo that gets deleted. All right, so this is a Wagyu A5 brisket. All right,
Yeah.
compared to a standard brisket. Let me open another one for standard brisket. Hold on a second. Here you go.
Wow.
You see it?
Yes, I see it. I'm really looking at it good. Yeah. Yeah. Lot of marbling inside the wagyu brisket.
Yeah. So
Okay.
when you go and eat at a steak barbecue place, they slice them into smaller chunk and they put name in front of it. They tell you what part they came from, what beef they came from.
Right.
So they eat every part. And when they grade the beef, they grade it by marbleization, but not fat.
Right. The ribbing, the ribbing that's going through the meat. Yeah.
Right. Because those goes away. Once you cook it, they disappear.
Yeah. Breaks down and melts through, and yeah.
Right. So that gives you actually more beef flavor because you're cooking in beef lard.
Right.
What do they call it? Beef tallow? Whatever that is called.
Yeah. Beef tallow.
So it gives more beef flavor. Now your concern of it is you think it's really fatty because all the marbleization. But once you cook it, it's all gone. It's all gone. And that's why they fall apart. They're very tender because once those marbleization melts, all you have is pockets. So the beef no longer hold together tight, and they fall apart.
Have you got a picture of the filet mignon, the tenderloin, the tenderloin?
Tenderloin, I can look it up.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. I don't know if any people out there are interested in seeing it, but I sure in the heck am.
Well, too big.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Right?
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, they are for marbleization and then graded through A, B, C, D, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the highest grading is A5. That does not mean Wagyu don't have A4, A3, B1.
Yeah.
There is. There is. So here's the thing: just because it says Wagyu, it does not mean it's this kind of marbleization. Okay. So beef, you can tell the quality by looking at it, but cigar, you can't. You really can't. In fact, most leaves are deveined, cut, select the best part, and rolled.
Right.
You can't. There's no way to tell. Like, for example, broadleaf. They are supposed to be ugly. They are the ugliest leaf. So when you pick up a broadleaf, is that bad quality because it's ugly? Minimal vein also means it has to do with the person who's cutting it too. Make sure he cuts around the vein. Minimal vein. Right. Today there's not a lot of guests. I really want to know what the guest thinks about what cigar quality really is, especially now that we have shut down a lot of characteristics of a cigar to not be quality. What is cigar quality? So right now, I guess if anybody watch this afterward, be like, oh, shit. So what am I buying?
Yeah, I think that we are identifying the quality of the cigar based on the brand that's there. Well, and I guess that's a normal inference, a normal assumption to make.
Yeah, but like I say, every brand has cigar that hits you and cigar that you hate.
Right, right, right.
So the brand doesn't justify the quality. The brand just means that they have really good blender who makes really good flavor, and they have really good um, rollers. But again, roller is spread out through the companies, right? They switch around all the time. So you can't even say that this company had the best roller because they switch. They switch around. The quality. So what is quality? I bet I can ask this all night and nobody can really tell me. And this is why that I say the more information you have about a hobby, including cigar, the more you care about it less. The more you care about it less. Like here's the thing, right, Val? If there is one drink that you really love, there's one, like say bourbon that you really love. Do you care if it's a $10 bourbon? You love it. You love the taste, every single
No, you
part of it.
don't. Yeah, no, you don't, because it hits the spots that you like it to hit. It tastes the taste that you like to have. Yeah, and it could be a $12 bottle, and you can buy an $85 bottle. Man, this $12 bottle tastes a hell of a lot better than that other one.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, the expectation is that $85 bottle should be better.
So the more you know about it, alcohol is alcohol. So as I like it, I don't care how much it costs. It could be the cheaper the better. In fact, the cheaper the better. And for all you know, they could be using like the worst bourbon barrel that you can ever like. They it's like the the oak that nobody wants left over. And somehow they can process it to taste good. The magic of the blender magic. But it does not signify any part of the quality. So I love for someone to come to tell me what what is the quality. You can't really tell the quality for any of those things we just named. Because all that is still determined by the blender. Right? If I go out to eat, like even rice has grading and quality. And you can tell the difference between rice grading and quality. Because you eat it, the texture and all that stuff. You gotta tell me that the smoke texture determines the quality. Oh,
Yes.
we got Rick.
Yes.
An hour late, but sure.
Yep. I was on a little date.
All right, now that you're on, let's ask you too, because now I think I stumped Val.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Wait, is today's Val's birthday? It doesn't show up as a birthday. What the hell? But yes, happy birthday, Val. So, Rick, we're talking about quality today.
Okay.
What is a cigar quality? What determines the cigar quality? The tobacco quality.
A mixture of things from region, age, blender, brand, blenders,
Okay, all right, all right. Now let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there.
We already shut down a lot of those categories because if you say blender, that has nothing to do with the tobacco quality. The blender just put the taste together, make the cigar taste good. It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
mean
what I said.
the tobacco quality is good.
Of course, like, but
And,
it's
and we're not saying that the blender does not take a big part of it, because a blender does, because the blender is the one that's choosing the tobaccos, right?
mhm,
So
that's
if I give you a brand, I'm gonna give a brand, and you tell me quality or no quality. All right,
mhm,
Padron,
quality.
Why?
Alec Bradley,
I'll give it quality.
Dunbarton.
There is different levels of quality.
So how do you determine quality? How do you determine quality?
Yeah, let's see.
Uh,
You gotta
Now
take.
we're not talking about your taste.
yeah,
Yeah, because he arrived late. Let me explain this, okay? You can't put anybody who worked on it as a quality because people who work on it has nothing to do with tobacco quality. He can put a shitty tobacco in there. If it tastes good, it doesn't mean the tobacco is good.
of course. I mean, that's why it's a combination of things, not just a
Right. So
singular
you
thing.
gotta remove from the combination, all right? Boom. Take that away, all right? Construction quality is the roller, has nothing to do with tobacco. You gotta remove that too. It's not the quality of tobacco. Flavor, which I give example to Val. If I give you a piece of steak, right? If it's a lot of flavor, do you think that's good quality?
Mm,
If you have a steak that's a lot of flavor, it's not quality. Because if you want the flavor, I can put as much dry rub as you
yeah,
want. Dump a whole bag
yeah.
of MSG. There's plenty of flavor.
Ooh.
So flavor is not quality because I was giving example for Val. Let's say, for example, if you think this cigar is really peppery and you love pepper, and you'll be
I
like,
mean,
that's a quality cigar. But what if I put a really shitty tobacco that only have pepper? It has
I
nothing
mean,
but pepper in there.
look at opuses. Opuses, they're known as quality cigars, but the only note you get from them is just cedar.
Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way for us to tell quality because if you take those apart, if you pick up each identifier that we use to identify tobacco, nothing tells you the quality of tobacco.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it's more of a combination, not just a singularity.
But none of those combinations that you name has to do with tobacco quality.
Uh, yes and no. 'Cause again, we're region, depending on where it's grown,
You're
the
saying
soil.
that if it's grown in certain region, they don't have bad tobacco.
No, I'm just saying in certain region. I'm not saying it has to be only in Nicaragua. I'm talking about a certain region.
Let's
It's
say
like
one specific farm, one farm. You think one farm does not create different gradings and different level of tobacco?
of course,
Okay, so the region
after
itself does not determine the quality of the
well, of
tobacco.
that time, if that particular region is at its infancy, when the rich is when the soil is
Again,
enriched.
you can't tell that. That information was not provided to you, right? When you buy a cigar, that information is not provided to you.
Of course,
So you can't identify by that either.
Yeah, what about the cigars that we buy? That the only thing they tell you is that it's from Nicaragua, but it doesn't tell you anything about the other. It doesn't tell you nothing about the binder or the filler. Undisclosed.
it could be good or it could be horrible. Then you need way more details for you to determine if it's a quality cigar or not quality cigar.
Sure. So us as a consumer who bought cigars, how do you know the cigar that you bought is of quality? How do you know the tobacco that you're smoking is quality?
I guess it'd be by the brand. If they know that
But
that brand has been existing for quite a while, They can't.
So
just
you think
give you.
you're saying that the brand determines quality? You don't have a brand that you have cigars that you like, but they also have a cigar that you hate.
Of course,
So brand does not determine quality. It doesn't. The brand doesn't tell you what tobacco it is.
well, not 100% quality.
No,
But
we're talking
more.
about solely tobacco quality.
Oh no, if you're doing it as in like a totality, then it doesn't exist.
Right? We're just telling how do like when you go out and buy a steak, you can tell the steak quality
Hmm.
by the feel, by the look, by the way it cooked, by the way it tastes. You can tell a steak is of quality or not. Tobacco, when we buy it, how do you tell quality? How do you know the cigar that you bought, the tobacco in there, is of quality? Again, you gotta take away the blender's magic that we're talking about. The blender's magic. The blender knows what they taste like, and sometimes you never know. Somebody's like, okay, we're missing pepper. Let's just put some stupid shit in there that just have nothing but pepper in there. It's not quality. It's blender's magic. It's flavor. Having a lot of flavor does not mean the tobacco is of quality either.
True.
So what determines tobacco quality?
That's a tough question, right? It's a good dilemma.
That's one thing us as a smoker never ask. We always that's a quality cigar. That's a great cigar. That's a tasty cigar. Right? Great construction. Nothing had to do with the quality.
No, we don't ask that, but we call it that. We tag it that. We name it that. We identify it as that.
The thing is that it does have quality. It has a cigar quality. The quality of a cigar. Smokable, flavorful, burns nicely. Right? That's the quality of the cigar, but it's not the quality of the tobacco. But the problem is that when somebody's selling you tobacco, all the advertisement or whatever, it says quality. It shines the tobacco they use. Oh, this thing is from like 7-year age, blah, blah, blah. They talk about the tobacco they use, but none of them mention anything about quality in totality.
Mhm.
Where like, how is this tobacco graded? What grade are you getting? All that stuff.
Yeah, and how often do you hear, and I've heard it recently, several times recently over the last, at least the last month, where they say you're going to get quality tobaccos because, the wrapper is aged 4 years, the binder is aged 7 years, the filler is aged 8 years. So you're getting quality tobacco in there. Is it the aging that makes it quality? And you have to remember all the process they go through that phase. When it was planted, where was it planted, the conditions, the weather, the
Mhm.
part of the country. How was it aged? How long was the fermentation process? All that other stuff.
But that still
Well,
doesn't
but
tell
you-
you quality. Because
but you're
if,
getting-
if aging is quality, then every single bourbon that's 8 years old should be of the same quality. What determines tobacco quality?
That's why for me, I said I think it's a combination of a whole bunch of standards.
Right, but you're talking about cigar standards, like cigar, like overall cigar. You're not talking about tobacco. You're talking about the final result. You're talking about like an iPhone is of quality because it's nicely built
No,
together.
not actually. Like if you get rid of the whole, building the cigar, I'm thinking about more of again the region, the soil, the blender. They got to know when to start to fertilize it, how to
Again,
age it.
that stuff
freeze
tells
dry
you
it.
that stuff tells you where they get the tobacco and what kind of tobacco it is. Does not tell you quality.
I mean, there's a reason why they try to sell the Oro Blanco for $1,000, $500. because they're
Again,
saying
that's to
it's-
price you out. That's a different story. It cannot prove the quality, right? If you're saying that, okay, if it's by Padron, okay, and it's by this particular farm, and has aged for 4 years, all the tobacco that fits this 3 category must be good tobacco. I don't think you can say that. Right? You just give me the whole element. I can combine all of those and then fit all those characteristics that you just named. And still, you cannot prove that to me that will be a good tobacco. Right? Okay, we get this from Jalapa. All right. You think that anybody else cannot go to Jalapa to get a bad tobacco? All right. From Padron. You think the Padron person cannot go to the Jalapa to find a farm to buy bad tobacco?
Yeah.
Right. And you don't think they take bad tobacco and put it there for 4 years? So all those does not tell you good quality. It tells you the process. So what makes it good quality? And here's the thing: you can have a good cigar, and it can be filled with bad tobacco, and it'll be totally fine. Right? You're telling me that there was never ever a mixed filler tobacco that tastes good? There is, right?
Yeah.
In fact, wasn't that Godfire's leftovers? Godfire is not good.
Got a fire, yeah.
They use leftovers.
They're leftovers for opuses.
Still tastes good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the quality? Especially when we're talking about leftovers, parts that they don't want to cut out. Where's the quality? That's the hard part. That's what we're talking about for an hour and a half. So how do you know when you buy a cigar is of quality product? How do you know that $30 cigar is worth 30? Aside from the packaging.
Yeah.
This is why. Now, when you jump on, what is quality? And we're talking about this, like people are talking about the ash color as quality. Like if you see the ash burns like white, it must be quality. But what if I'm making a cigar that's meant to be something that's full of minerals, full of other stuff to make it complex? Now all of a sudden that's not quality? So what is quality? Also, we talk about this by the speed of the way you smoke. If you smoke really fast, your ash gonna look like crap because you burn the shit out of it. Well, if you smoke too slow, it's gotta be underburned. It's gotta have weird color on it. Yep. Is that quality? And you gotta put build quality aside because that has to do with the roller. It has nothing to do with tobacco. So flavor doesn't determine quality. Burn color doesn't determine quality. The build doesn't determine quality. What determines quality? Come on, Rick. I know you can figure this out.
The consumer.
The consumer only get the final product. It doesn't tell the quality. It tells whether or not the consumer happy or not.
Well, yeah, like I said, as long as they fall into it, if there's no such things as a quality, you name it quality, it's just like a placebo.
But you're talking about the cigar quality now. You're like the consumer is happy with the final product, which is cigar. But don't you think like a lot of time you think something's really, really good and you love it, and I tell you that something is made out of something crappy and you no longer
Mhm.
love it?
Like McDonald's chicken nuggets. Most of that's like bioengineered or whatever's in it.
That chicken tastes great, you know, like at KFC, the drumstick, you see how big that is? That's great. Oh, well, it's bioengineered,
Yep, bioengineered horse.
right? So, what is quality in a cigar? Like when somebody says quality cigar, they're not talking about tobacco. None of us is. When we're talking about this cigar, is a great cigar.
It's the brand.
The brand just, no, the brand doesn't determine quality at all. The brand just tells you that there's enough blend that people love. Any brand can blow up overnight so long as they have a blend
Following.
that everybody want to buy.
Yeah, true. Because like, yeah, look at the Wayne brothers, you know, or Conor McGregor, you know, the celebrities when they get into it, it blows up sometimes fast because of just the name behind it.
Right? So the brand doesn't determine quality. The brand might. Okay. You can literally buy a cigar only because who blended.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't tell you quality. It only tells you once upon a time you smoke a few cigars from this person and you enjoyed it. Nothing about quality though. Nothing about quality. So the question today is, how do we tell quality?
That's like you see a lot of you see some brands out there, and I'm just gonna make up a name. All right.
Mhm.
Well, let's say this is an established brand. It's Timbuktu brand. Okay.
I love that brand.
All right. Timbuktu brand. And they've been out, let's say they've been out for 7 years and they got their line.
Okay.
And all of a sudden they come out with a new line and it says Timbuktu whatever. And underneath it says by AJ Fernandez. All of a sudden my brain clicks. Oh, that's got to be a good cigar. AJ Fernandez is involved.
True.
Arturo Fuente. Oh, it's by Arturo Fuente. Oh, yeah, that's got to be a good. It's got to be a good cigar. Placencia. Oh yeah, it's got to be a good cigar. You know, so I think a lot of times that we identify quality by brand name,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know the quality of that tobacco.
I don't even think you identify quality with that brand name. When somebody mentions a brand name, you
do
recognize.
I don't know.
Because what you recognize is not quality. What you recognize is they have stuff where I like the flavor. They have stuff that's not plugged.
Yeah. Okay.
So what you're talking about is I've smoked enough their cigars to know that I most likely enjoy the flavor that came from this company. Because I know the blender blends towards this kind of flavor.
Yeah.
So you're geared towards flavor. Right? For example, when I like me personally don't like to smoke West Tampa. As soon as he says Circle of Life is made by EPC, like I know I'm gonna enjoy that. I bought it. Tastes like EPC. Has nothing to do with quality. I just enjoy the flavor. Right? Something from like by AJ Fernandez. You know, AJ Fernandez use these kind of tobacco. They tend to taste like this way. So you're okay with AJ Fernandez. Right? Rick, name a company of cigar that you don't enjoy.
Perdomo.
Perdomo? So if there is a brand that says that I say Padron. Padron came out a new cigar called, and that this
Padron.
doesn't exist.
Padromo.
called Podromo. And under it says made in the Podromo factory. Oh, you gotta go get it.
You kind of have to go get it.
Yeah, I'll be curious. I'll definitely be intrigued. I'll go for it.
But would you right away think that that's quality? Exactly. Your face already tell the whole story. Like, I don't know, it's Podomo. Right? Or like this, like, okay. Padron says, we partner up with Gurkha.
But then you have to hear the dragon.
Again, because the brand doesn't tell me anything, right?
Yeah.
The brand tells me whether or not that cigar is gonna taste like a certain way. So Padron comes like, we gotta do a Padron Ghost. Padron must be quality. So even though you think it's quality, like, it's gonna taste earthy. So the name, you're not looking for quality, you're looking for flavor. Right? If somebody says this, like, you smoke a cigar, you're about to light it up, there's no bend on it, and they say this made by Camacho, you already know that this most likely is gonna taste like Honduras,
Yeah.
but not quality. You don't think about the quality, you just think that this gotta taste like Honduras. Because just because they use a poor quality tobacco doesn't mean it tastes bad. For example, Punch Agro. Do you like it?
Not bad.
Yes.
I like it.
You think that in there is of quality tobacco to sell you for like $5 a stick?
Yeah, there's Indonesian, I think, for part of the filler.
Right? It could be anything that's cheaper so that they can fit that price range. But tastes good it doesn't tell you it's quality. It just tells you that the blender has magic.
True.
The blender knows the tobacco well and knows what tobacco to put in there at the price range that they want to fit into. Tastes good. Nothing about quality. I thought about this because I thought about that day where I was like, somebody said Cohiba has the best tobacco in the world. One of the best. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, then how do you tell tobacco? How do you tell the quality of tobacco? How? Because none of the cigars tells me what tobacco they use. Which crop? What grading? Never.
Yeah, how long it's been fermenting, the temperatures.
Well, fermenting process obviously is not a equate because if you go in there and you see the leaf is not ready, you leave it there.
Well, of course, but there's still a lot of different elements that can afflict it.
Sure.
For example, let's say you split Nicaragua in half. One side of Nicaragua is always raining. The other side is always sunny. They're going to have different tastes because the humidity on one side.
Right, but that doesn't tell you quality. For example, let me give you an example, right? You have two of the exact same steak. A5 Wagyu.
Mm-hmm.
One is dry aged. The other one is wet aged.
Marinated, basically. Okay.
All right. Does that change the quality of the cut?
No.
Exactly. So how the tobacco is fermented does not change the quality of tobacco. You see? Complex.
I just want to smoke.
And that's what I'm talking about. The more you know about a hobby, the more you don't care.
Yeah, I just want to light the cigar up and just have my coffee.
Coffee, the grading is very clear. When you buy a coffee bean, they tell you exactly what it is. How is
True.
harvest? Where is harvest? What kind of wash that they go through? Is it water wash? Is it sun dried? Sun,
Mhm.
They tell you. Everything is about the quality of that raw material.
Did a monkey eat it?
Yeah, did it shit it out his ass? Right? All that process told you. They told you. They told you the quality of the item. When you buy food, everything's graded. Right? Angus certified. Prime certified. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Tobacco, everybody say is quality cigar. Where's the quality?
Tiberius.
Like even at me, I would just say it's the same grade. I can't even tell you whether or not it's quality. I think it's good. I think it's a good grade. It's high grade. And when I looked at the tobacco, they're beautiful. But quality, I can't tell you. Because there's no system to grade quality. At least for consumer, there isn't. Right? Because tobacco has different part of it, and a lot of time you're using things that may not be of quality just to get you that flavor. Hey, Tiberius. So I think that's an interesting thing. But I think the more you smoke, the more longer that you're in this like nerd out kind of thing, you
Mhm.
don't care anymore,
Yeah.
right? You don't care because you have your own system to judge a cigar after a while, right? Before you have that system, you go in there, you let people tell you what good cigar is. But now them talk about quality. They tell you construction quality. They tell you the flavor, the depth, the nicotine level, all that stuff. They don't tell you quality. You determine the quality. You smoke it, you're like, that's a quality cigar. But you don't know what quality you're talking about. You just like, you like it, it tastes good, and you can smoke it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reason why I said, going back to what I said earlier, was consumer. The consumer basically tells themselves the quality.
All right, let's roll that back, right? All the way back to the beginning where I'm talking about different things. T-shirt. How'd you tell it's a quality T-shirt?
You can wear it. Doesn't deteriorate when you wash it. Doesn't lose its color.
Then I just use nylon for the quality. Now it's quality. Nylon doesn't lose shape. Nylon doesn't fade. It's a quality.
It was made by the 4-year-old Chinese kid in the basement of the sweatshop.
Again, who made it has nothing to do with the quality of the
I know.
material. Build quality is build quality. And here's the thing. The more you make something, the more mass produced it is, the quality goes down. But is it the same for the cigar? Because if that's the case, all the big companies, including Davidoff, make shitty cigars. Because they produce a lot of cigar per year. You see? Dilemma. Dilemma. Obviously, like I think most people who smoke will never have to think about that question.
Yeah, unless you get into the industry, you're actively trying to pursue your own brand, to cultivate your own products, farm. Like it's hyper specific.
Honestly, I don't think any brand is pursuing high quality tobacco. I think every brand is pursuing
What sells?
flavor.
Yeah.
All right, every brand is pursuing a tobacco that give you a flavor that is out of the norm. Because here's the thing: if they grow a tobacco, and that tobacco tastes like, let me name one. Mm, just name a crazy one. It tastes like prime rib.
Oh, meat lovers, Dunbarton. Yeah.
Dumbarton meat lover does not taste like anything like meat. But let's say it tastes like prime rib with horseradish on top. All right, prime rib. It's got the char. It's got the beefiness. But this tobacco is the ones that they throw it away. It looks ugly. The color is pink with green dots on it. Super ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Is that quality?
It tastes good.
Right? It's the thing that they throw away. It's got bug holes all over it.
And no, it's quality.
Right? But it tastes like that. It tastes like absolutely out of this world. They will still use it. In fact, I think Steve Saka was like, I don't give a fuck. That thing tastes like steak. Put it in the new, meat lovers. Now we call it steak lover. Right? It doesn't have to be good quality. They are chasing the flavor. They put it as a filler. Nobody will see it. Unless you open it up, it looks like the cigar's got some sort of like STDs.
True. And you are burning it, so it kills the bacteria.
No, it's just the way it looks. Tell me there's no food that looks disgusting, but it tastes great. There's plenty of food that looks disgusting and tastes great.
Yeah, I mean, when you handle the chicken raw, it was slimy and looks weird. But obviously, once you cook it, wash it, whatever.
Japanese actually eat raw chicken. We eat raw chicken.
I can't do that.
I've eaten raw chicken. I've eaten raw shrimp. No?
No.
No, I'm too scared of my friend Sam.
Well, in the U.S., you can't eat the chicken raw because the chicken will transport it and all that stuff. And it takes time, right? Salmonella already say hi to that chicken.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to say hi to Sam.
But in Japan, the chicken are killed the same hour. Prepped the same hour. So it is done clean. It's never been frozen. If you don't freeze something, chances are salmonella doesn't really go on it. So it's edible.
Like I know you have things like beef tartare.
I eat horse raw, so pretty much every fish I eat it raw.
Okay.
And I think beef I ate it raw before. Chicken I ate it raw. Pork I ate it raw before. Tastes nasty.
I had an after dark comment. I'll keep it to tribal.
Lamb I ate it raw. What other animal that we eat?
No. All the animals that you eat.
When I say we, that means me.
Or usually something like the Asian population.
Well, in theory, whale is a mammal, so I ate mammal raw too.
Well.
Right? I ate it raw. They think that, if it's raw, it's more nutritious because none of them has been destroyed by heat.
You eat shark?
I ate shark.
Ooh.
Raw. I ate shark raw. And I do drink shark's fin soup. And yes, I will French kiss a cow that's killed. Because I ate cow tongue raw. Val was like, that's disgusting. Val, you gotta know, back in the days, before fire cooking food was a thing, we ate everything raw.
The only thing I'm going to eat raw is vegetables and
Why?
fruit.
Why?
I steak.
You know what's the funny part? I eat vegetable cooked. I eat vegetable cooked.
Yeah, I do too, but I'm just saying.
Have you cooked lettuce? I eat lettuce cooked.
No.
I will cook a
Lettuce?
lettuce. I'll cook cabbage. I'll cook lettuce. What other stuff do you guys eat? Cucumber. I'll cook it. I will cook a salad.
I believe you.
But meat, I will eat it raw.
I said that was back in the day. Then God created Texans.
Oh, you want to
And
hear about
barbecue
this?
came.
So I talked to a friend about my recent chat with, obviously Jonathan and a few people about God, right? And then there's like, yeah, I don't know about those things, what if God is not the Almighty? I was like, what do you mean? Somebody had to create something, right? You can't have something out of nothing. And hey, Raul. And then he says, yeah, you're right. So that means somebody created God. Mind blown. Yeah, you can't create something out of nothing, then that means God was created. I couldn't answer to that. I was like, hey, that's okay. That's okay, because most Asian gods are created. We deified a passing human being to be God. Bruce Lee's a god. But in Christianity, if God was the only being, the Almighty, that destroyed that whole theory. Something had to create. You can't create nothing out of something. I mean, you can't create something out of nothing. This is the problem. You okay, guys. I really advise you guys not to do two things. Don't talk the phone. Don't talk on the phone when you're taking a shit. All right. And don't smoke alone and talk to somebody online for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Because weird topics comes up. The weirdest topic comes up. Even worse, smoking, taking a shit on the phone at the same time.
That's the laugh I want.
So I did that, and next thing you know, my wife's asking me why I'm doing the bathroom for 2 hours.
And you're reading the paper.
Oh yeah, people used to do that, huh?
Yeah.
Newspaper, magazine.
Now here's a question though: do you guys read it on your lab or do you read it on the floor?
Floor.
Yeah, you put the paper on the floor, so it's something's holding it. You just have to flip it.
And you're just like hunched over?
Don't you just put your hands on your lap and just gonna read?
It sounds like something you need to do for science.
Okay, this might be an Asian thing because Asian, we grow up squatting at a hole, taking a shit. So the newspaper is in front of you on the floor. Right? That way you don't miss and fall for or whatever. You just reading, right? And if you fall for a newspaper is in front of you, that's okay. Clean. Right? So when I start reading in the bathroom, nowadays cell phone is different. You hold the cell phone. But When I used to read newspaper, I had a newspaper on the floor.
Well, for me, I sit back all on my yeah, just lay back and I'm just on my phone like this, and I just
But we're
scroll.
not talking about phone. We're talking about newspaper.
Oh, even I mean, yeah, the days were teenage years where I'll leave my phone accidentally in a bedroom. I'll just take like whatever the closest thing I could read, like the Febreze bottle or whatever. I'll just take it and I'll just read the back of it and move things around. But I usually sit back a little bit or do a little bit of a hunch.
Now, cell phone is different. Use hand. Book, I hold it one hand. I don't like to hold it two hand when I'm taking the shit. I hold it one hand.
You're talking about a paperback book now.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're like this,
Mm-mm.
or like when you have it open like this.
I have my thumb at the page on the pages. No, on the pages that we're flipping. So when I release a little bit, page flips. The other way. You gotta bend the book back.
Like this.
You gotta bend the book back. Hold the rest of it in your palm. Something like that, yeah.
Okay, and then just
Yeah.
okay.
Kind of weird, huh?
Interesting.
Yeah,
Intriguing.
I think it was weird, so now I don't read books in the bathroom anymore. I just read my phone. So don't do this kind of stuff because that will give you the weirdest questions in your head.
I always hear voices in my head.
The weirdest questions. Like I'll be smoking a cigar in the bathroom. I'll be like, why is this cigar good? Why is it the cigar smoke tastes different than when I smoke it?
Because it's mixing with manure.
No. Okay, so when you're in the room, right? You take a smoke, you puff it out. What you tasted, what you smelled is not the same as the person who's smelling it in front of you. You never noticed that? The person who smelled the smoke in front of you, all they smell is tobacco and smoke. But when you're smoking it, you taste something else. You smell something else. Have you ever walked in front of a cigar shop?
Mm-hmm.
It's always the same smell. That one cigar smell.
True.
It's a burned cigar smell. That's it. You don't smell any other flavor but burned cigar smell.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's been times where I smoke a particular cigar, like different cigars my uncle never smoked before, and the cloud would hit him. He's like, "Oh, that smells good," and then I'll hunt it down, give it to him. He was smoking. It's like doesn't taste how I smelt it when I puffed it out.
There were many times where I'm smoking, my wife right next to me, and she'd be like, "Oh, that cigar smells really good," and I'd be like, "But it tastes like shit." But sometimes I have a really good cigar, and this whole room full of smoke, and my wife like, that cigar smell went upstairs is really, really bad. What are you smoking? It smells like trash. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just had a really good cigar. I enjoyed it so much the whole room is smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Sometimes. Never ever try to that. Okay, never, guys, don't do this. It's a bad thing to do is to smoke while you're taking a shit, while talking to somebody. Don't talk to somebody. Even yourself. That's the problem. When we talk to ourselves, got weirdest questions. Weirdest.
Damn it. Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I guess we would never, like, anybody who watched this afterward, if you think you have a different definition of tobacco quality, we're not talking about cigar quality, tobacco quality, leave in a comment. I wanted to see what kind of, like, well, how do you determine a tobacco quality? Not cigar quality, tobacco quality. Okay? put it in the comment. So, and that will be it for this particular show tonight. It's 11 o'clock. I'm gonna go to Discord for just a little bit, and yeah, and that's the weekend. I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Okay. Have a
Peace.
good night, everybody.
Good
Put some
night.
smoke in the shadows.